Okay, buckle up, Reddit. This is a long one. And honestly, I'm still not entirely sure why I'm writing it. Maybe it's catharsis. Maybe it's a warning. Maybe I just need to get it out of my head and into the void of the internet. My then 28 ex-girlfriend, then 26F, let's call her Chloe, left me for a guy who was, and I'm not exaggerating, a walking red flag factory, who turned out to be an actual criminal. And yeah, it nearly broke me. TLDR, my seemingly perfect girlfriend of 3 years slowly drifted away, then abruptly left me for a guy with a rap sheet longer than my arm. The emotional fallout was devastating, but I'm slowly crawling my way back. It all started pretty typically, I guess. We met through mutual friends at a 4th of July barbecue. Sparks flew. Cliche as it sounds. Chloe was vibrant, funny, intelligent. She had this infectious laugh that could make a stone statue crack a smile. We talked for hours that night, about everything and nothing, books, movies, dreams, stupid childhood stories. It felt like I'd known her forever. The first year was pure bliss. We were inseparable. We moved in together after about 10 months. Into a cozy little 2-bedroom apartment downtown. We adopted a goofy golden retriever puppy we named Gus. We'd spend weekends hiking, exploring farmers markets, or just binge-watching shows with Gus snoring between us on the couch. She was ambitious, working as a graphic designer, and I was a software engineer, pretty content with my career path. We talked about the future, marriage, kids, a house with a yard for Gus. It all felt so real, so attainable. She was my best friend, my confidant, my everything. I honestly thought she was the one. The second year was still good, great even, but maybe the initial honeymoon glow started to fade, replaced by a comfortable, steady love. We had our routines, our inside jokes. We knew each other's coffee orders by heart. We supported each other through work stresses and family dramas. I remember her holding my hand through my grandmother's funeral, being this incredible rock of support, and I was there for her when her freelance design business hit a slow patch, encouraging her, brainstorming ideas. We were a team. The cracks started to appear subtly, around the beginning of our third year together, so subtly in fact that I barely noticed them at first, or maybe I chose not to. Chloe started going out more with a new group of friends from some art collective she'd joined. Initially I was happy for her. She was networking, exploring her creative side. But then it became more frequent. She'd come home late, smelling of cigarettes. She'd always hated smoking, and cheap booze, not the craft beers we used to enjoy together. When I'd ask about her night, her answers became vague. Oh, just hung out, talked art, you know. She'd be on her phone more, smiling at texts, but quick to angle the screen away if I got too close. The shared laughter dwindled. Our weekend hikes became solo missions for me and Gus, because Chloe was too tired or had plans. I tried talking to her about it. Hey, is everything okay? You seem a bit distant lately. She'd brush it off. I'm fine, Alex. Just stressed with work and the collective. You're overthinking things. Classic gaslighting. I see it now, but back then, I just felt confused and a little hurt. Was I being too needy, too insecure? One night, she mentioned a guy from the art collective, Jax. She said he was super talented, a bit rough around the edges, but a really misunderstood artist. The way she said his name, with a little too much emphasis, a little too much admiration, sent a small, cold shiver down my spine. I asked to meet these new friends, Jax included. Oh, they're not really your scene, Alex. It's all very artsy-fartsy, you'd be bored. The distance grew. Our sex life, once passionate and frequent, became almost non-existent. She started staying out later, sometimes not coming home, until the early hours of the morning. The excuses became flimsier. The smell of cigarettes was a constant. I felt like I was living with a stranger. Gus, bless his loyal heart, seemed to sense the tension too. He'd often whine and nudge Chloe with his head when she was being particularly cold, as if trying to bring her back to us. The arguments started. Small ones at first, about her being late, or her lack of communication, then they escalated. I remember one particularly bad fight where I confronted her about her secrecy, about how I felt like she was pushing me away. Maybe I just need some space, Alex, she yelled. Maybe I'm tired of this boring, predictable life. Boring? Predictable? This was the life we'd built together, the life she'd claimed to want. Her words cut deep. I felt like the floor had dropped out from under me. A few weeks later, the bomb dropped. I came home from work, Gus greeting me, enthusiastically at the door as usual. but the apartment felt emptier. I called out for Chloe. No answer. I walked into our bedroom, and my heart sank. Half her clothes were gone from the closet. Her toiletries were missing from the bathroom. On my side of the bed, there was a note, just a single folded piece of paper. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely open it. It was short, brutally concise. Alex, I can't do this anymore. I'm not happy. I've moved out. Don't try to contact me. I'm sorry. Chloe. Sorry? That was it? 3 years. Our home, our dog, our future, all dismissed with a sorry scribbled on a piece of paper. There was no explanation. No, it's not you, it's me. No tearful goodbye. Just gone. I sank onto the bed, the note crinkling in my fist. Gus whined, nudging my hand, sensing my distress. I just stared blankly at the wall. Disbelief, then a crushing wave of pain, then anger, then a hollow numbness. I think I sat there for hours. I didn't cry, not then. I was too shocked. The next few days were a blur. I called her phone. It went straight to voicemail. I texted, no reply. I reached out to her closest friends, the ones I knew before her art collective phase. They were as shocked as I was. They hadn't heard from her either, or so they said. One of them, a girl named Maya, who had always been kind, sounded genuinely concerned but also hesitant, like she knew more than she was letting on. It was Maya who eventually, reluctantly, filled me in a week later. She called, her voice low, and asked to meet. We met at a coffee shop, the same one Chloe and I used to frequent. The irony wasn't lost on me. Alex, Maya started, fiddling with her coffee cup. I don't know how to tell you this, but Chloe's with someone else. My stomach twisted. Who? I managed, though I think I already knew the answer. It's that guy, Jax. From the art collective. A bitter laugh escaped me. Of course. The misunderstood artist. Maya winced. There's more, Alex. He's not a good guy. What do you mean, not a good guy? I pressed, a sense of dread coiling in my gut. He's got a record, Alex. Like a serious one. Assault? Theft? I heard he's been involved in some pretty shady stuff. Possibly drug-related. People are scared of him. Chloe seems to think he's just edgy and exciting, but he's dangerous. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. Chloe? My sweet, intelligent Chloe, who used to cry at ASPCA commercials, was with a violent criminal? It didn't make any sense. The woman Maya was describing sounded nothing like the woman I loved. The woman I'd planned my life with. Why, I asked, the word barely a whisper. Why would she do this? Why him? Maya shook her head. I don't know, Alex. She changed. She started craving this drama, I guess. She said you were too safe, too predictable. She said Jax made her feel alive. Too safe, too predictable. The words echoed in my head, a cruel taunt. My love, my stability, my devotion. These were apparently flaws, not strength. The weeks that followed were the darkest of my life. The apartment felt haunted by her absence. Every corner held a memory. Her scent lingered faintly on her pillow, which I couldn't bring myself to wash. I barely ate. Sleep was a luxury, and when it did come, it was filled with nightmares of her. Sometimes happy, sometimes with Jax, laughing at me. I threw myself into work, trying to distract myself, but my focus was shot. My boss, a decent guy, noticed. I eventually told him a watered-down version. Just that I was going through a really bad breakup. He was understanding, told me to take some time if I needed it. I didn't take time off. I didn't want to be alone with my thoughts. But the thoughts were relentless anyway. How could I have been so blind? Were there signs I missed? Was our whole relationship a lie? The self-doubt was crippling. I replayed every moment of our last few months together, scrutinizing every word, every glance, looking for clues I'd overlooked. My friends tried to rally around me. They'd drag me out for beers, try to get me to go to the gym, anything to get me out of the apartment. Sometimes it helped, for a few hours. But then I'd come back to the silence, to Gus looking at me with those sad, knowing eyes, and the weight would crash down on me again. One night, about a month after she left, I did something stupid. I got drunk, really drunk, and I went looking for that art collective. I found the address online, some rundown warehouse district. I don't even know what I planned to do. Confront her? Confront him? I just needed something. Closure. Maybe. Or maybe I just wanted to see for myself what she'd chosen over me, over us. The place was seedy, graffiti covered, music thumping from within. I saw them. Chloe was standing outside, smoking, laughing with a group of people, and Jax was there, arms slung possessively around her shoulder. He was exactly what you'd picture: leather jacket, tattoos snaking up his neck, a permanent sneer etched on his face. He looked rough, dangerous, and utterly wrong for her. Chloe saw me. Her eyes widened, the laughter dying on her lips. For a split second, I thought I saw a flicker of something: regret, shame, but it was gone as quickly as it appeared, replaced by a cold defiance. Jax turned, followed her gaze, and then looked straight at me. His eyes were like chips of ice. He tightened his grip on Chloe, pulling her closer, a clear gesture of ownership. I just stood there frozen. What was I gonna do? Start a fight with a guy who clearly knew how to handle himself, and probably had friends who did too? I wasn't a fighter. I was just a heartbroken guy in way over his head. The fight drained out of me, replaced by a profound sadness and a sickening sense of defeat. I turned and walked away, their laughter, or what I imagined was their laughter, echoing in my ears. That night was a turning point, but not in a good way initially. I hit rock bottom. I drank more. I isolated myself. I replayed that image of her with him over and over. The why consumed me. Was I not exciting enough? Not manly enough? Not dangerous enough? It messed with my self-esteem in ways I can't even articulate. I felt like a failure, a chump, the nice guy who finished last. The lowest point came when I found an old photo album. It was full of pictures of us, smiling, happy, full of life. Me, Chloe, and Gus on a camping trip. Us dressed up for Halloween. A goofy selfie from our first anniversary. Seeing those images of the woman I loved, the woman I thought loved me, and comparing her to the cold stranger I'd seen with Jax, it was like a physical blow. I broke down. I mean, really broke down, ugly, crying, snot, the whole 9 yards, clutching Gus like he was the only thing keeping me tethered to reality, which in a way he was. That dog saved me, man. His unwavering affection, his need for walks and food, forced me to maintain some semblance of a routine. I had to get up, I had to go outside, I had to function, at least for him. Slowly, very slowly, things started to shift. My friends, bless their patient souls, didn't give up on me. One of them, Mark, practically dragged me to a therapist. I was resistant at first. I don't need a shrink, I scoffed. But I went, mostly to shut him up, and honestly it helped. Talking to a neutral third party, someone who wasn't gonna judge me or just tell me, you'll find someone better, was invaluable. Therapy helped me unpack a lot of things. The grief, the betrayal, the anger. It helped me realize that Chloe's choices weren't a reflection of my worth. She was chasing something, some idea of excitement or rebellion, and it had nothing to do with me not being enough. It was about her own issues, her own desires, however misguided they might be. I started focusing on myself. I hit the gym, not to get revenge bod ripped, but because it felt good to channel my frustration into something physical. I started cooking healthier meals instead of living off takeout and despair. I reconnected with old hobbies I'd let slide. I read more. I even started learning guitar, something I'd always wanted to do. I also did a social media purge. I blocked Chloe, Jax, anyone connected to that art collective. I didn't need to see updates, to torture myself with glimpses into her new life. It was like ripping off a band-aid, painful, but necessary for healing. News still trickled in sometimes, through the grapevine. Apparently, Jax wasn't just involved in shady stuff. He was knee-deep in it. There were rumors of arrests, fights, things getting heavy. Maya told me, with genuine concern, that Chloe looked stressed, unhappy, trapped. A part of me, the petty hurt part, felt a grim satisfaction. But mostly I just felt sad for her, for the bright, vibrant girl I once knew, who had somehow lost her way so spectacularly. One day, about a year after the breakup, I got a call from an unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me. Alex? The voice was small, hesitant, instantly recognizable. Chloe. My heart hammered against my ribs. A dozen emotions warred within me. Chloe, I said, my voice carefully neutral. Hi. I know I have no right to call you, but I needed to. There was a pause. I could hear her take a shaky breath. I wanted to say I'm sorry, Alex. for everything. For how I left, for what I put you through. It was a horrible thing to do, and you didn't deserve it. Her voice cracked. I made a huge mistake. Jax, he's not who I thought he was. This life, it's not me. I listened, saying nothing. What could I say? I told you so. It's too late. I'm trying to get out, she continued, her voice barely a whisper. It's complicated. He's controlling. But I'm working on it. I needed you to know that I know I messed up. You were good to me, Alex. You were so good to me. I finally found my voice. I appreciate you saying that, Chloe. I really do. But it doesn't change anything for me. I've moved on. It wasn't entirely true. The moved on part, not completely. But I was on my way, and I knew, with absolute certainty, that there was no going back. I understand, she said softly. I hope one day you can forgive me. I already have, Chloe, I said, and I realized, somewhat to my surprise, that I meant it. Forgiving her wasn't for her, it was for me. It was about letting go of the anger and the bitterness that had been poisoning me for so long. I wish you well. I hope you find your way. We said goodbye, and I hung up. I didn't feel triumphant, or angry, or even particularly sad. I just felt a sense of closure, a quiet finality. It's been another year since that call. So 2 years since the breakup. I'm in a much better place now. I still live in the same apartment, but it doesn't feel haunted anymore. It feels like home, mine and Gus's. I'm dating again, casually, no rush. I'm more cautious now, more attuned to red flags, but also more aware of my own worth. I heard through Maya that Chloe did eventually leave Jax. Apparently it got pretty ugly, and he ended up getting arrested for something serious, assault with a deadly weapon. I think I heard. She moved back in with her parents for a while, trying to piece her life back together. I genuinely hope she's okay, that she learns from it all. As for me, this whole ordeal taught me a lot. About love, about loss, about resilience. It taught me that sometimes people change in ways you can't predict or control. It taught me that you can't build your happiness solely around another person. And it taught me that even when you think you're broken beyond repair, you can heal. It takes time, it takes work, and it takes a hell of a lot of support and a good dog. But it's possible. I'm not the same wide-eyed, naive guy I was before Chloe. Part of me misses that innocence. But the guy I am now is stronger, wiser, and more appreciative of the simple, boring things in life. A quiet night in, a loyal companion, and the peace that comes with knowing you survived the storm. So yeah, that's my story. It's long, it's messy, but it's real. If you're going through something similar, just know that it gets better. It really does. Hold on to your gooses, lean on your friends, and don't be afraid to ask for help. You're stronger than you think. Thanks for reading, Reddit. It actually feels good to have finally typed it all out.